Hello, and welcome back to the Royal Survivor 45 podcast analysis. I am your host, King, joined here by King's mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm grumpy, and it's because of this episode of Survivor.
Really?
Yes. But I can't get to it until we get to the end, and I'm gonna tell you exactly.
I think I know why then.
Okay. It's the ending. But there's a lot of fun to be had in this episode. There's just also a crap ending. But let's talk about the good stuff first, because I like to end on sour notes, apparently. All right, well, what happened this episode, then?
Well, to start, we usually start with the tribal fallout.
Okay.
So Sabiyah was voted out.
Yep, in a very nice blindside.
Yes, it was a blindside. She was quite surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I think she thought she was kind of running it. You know?
Yep, that's what it seemed like. She went home with her idol in her pocket, too, so that's out of play.
Which she just got at that tribal council.
After melting it free, and banking her vote.
And Sean was quite surprised because he thought he knew what was going on, too.
And we get back to camp. There's only 3 people left of the Lulu tribe. Mm-hmm. And so Caleb's telling Emily he loves her, and she's kind of saying how they're officially like a duo because of how much they've looked out for each other. He kind of saved her back, but she kind of saved his here. Meanwhile, Sean's in the middle like, so I wish you guys would have told me, because then we could have done it together. And it's like, I don't think so. He looked pretty comfortable getting rid of Caleb, so he's just trying to... And you can't blame him. He's just trying to save face at this point.
Sure. Yeah. I think he was kind of kissing up to both of them at that point, going, I can see us going forward, as a strong...
Threesome,
yeah. And but I think they both know, too. They're like, he's doing whatever he can.
He's on the bottom now. Yeah,
he's on the
Emily
bottom.
even says, you hear him, his voice gets a little higher, and he starts smiling, and she knows he's faking to an extent. He's just he's still being himself, but gushing it more, and to just kind of, so they don't go on him, but it's he knows he's on the bottom now, so.
Right.
So, yeah, we have that. Mm-hmm. We don't get a lot out of the other tribes, and for the most part that's because when they think they're going to the challenge, Jeff kind of talks to them a little. They get shocked seeing Sabiyah's gone. Mm-hmm. I always find it weird, every episode this season especially, but there's a lot of seasons where the tribes don't really have much interaction. They just see each other at the challenges and then they go away unless they move people around. So, but every time this season, no matter who's voted out, the people are just, it was that person that I never met and don't know anything about? How could they? Okay, the Sabiyah one kind of made sense to me because they knew she was she was a Marine and she was one of the stronger competitors and stuff.
Yes.
So, and someone even said that she's strong. We're surprised they got rid of her, but... It's just even I think when Brandon went home, some of them were like, and it's come on, this is the guy falling over because he can't climb a ladder. I don't understand, these people being so shocked,
Well, maybe they had somebody in mind. They thought they knew, and then when it wasn't, Yeah. But, and I think too, that because they don't know, well, some know from going on those little trips together.
The excursions.
They know a little bit they only had one of those, I think, so far. But I think, too, they're going all by looks.
Yeah.
I don't know if they knew Sabiyah was Marine, but she was a good size. What I mean by good size woman, she seemed built.
Yeah, she seemed muscular.
Woman.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Caleb, her, Sean, who's a small stature man,
and Emily, who's
who's a small stature woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see where if you know nothing else about that tribe, you're going to be shocked that 2 of the larger stature people, one of them's gone.
Yeah.
That's what I think that where that comes from.
I guess so. I mean, it's not a huge deal. I just notice it sometimes, and some of them are so obvious that I'm like, really? You really thought it wouldn't be the person who was just voted out?
Yeah.
What are the cameras telling you to make that face?
Yeah. Well, that's true too. Have a lot of reaction.
They might tell them that, and they want to be on TV more, so you give them what they want or something.
Yeah.
So in terms of what actually happens, Jeff says, wondering about a switch up or something, and he pulls off his little blanket, and he says he has a tray of new buffs. So, and for the first time in this new generation, they're switching the tribes up.
Yep, drop your buffs.
Which, part of me wonders if they would have done this if one tribe didn't just completely bite it.
Yeah, I don't know if they play that by ear or if it's all scheduled.
Yeah, I like to think they have like backup plans because if one tribe just gets devoured, well then those people don't have much of a chance because together they won't do as well if they're with some other people. So, and because they even said, they did win one challenge, but then they lost the immunity. So.
Right. Yeah.
So he hands out new buffs, and since we got 15 people, that means we now have 3 tribes of 5.
Right.
And the divisions in the new tribes is pretty interesting. We can kind of just go right to left. So Lulu will say this: each of them goes to one of the 3 tribes.
Yes.
So basically, they're dissolved at that threesome, and they fuse with everybody else. So
right.
the funny thing is, the new Reba, 4 of them don't move; they stay. I believe it's the 3 women, so Jemaya, Julie, and Dee, along with Sifu.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get Sean.
Right.
Basically. So they get a person and lose 2 of theirs.
Right.
In the middle, with Lulu, Caleb stays with his tribe, but he gets 4 people from Bello, the blue tribe. They just...
I'm sorry. What are we talking? Lulu?
Lulu, the yellow tribe.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the blue comes over to the yellow, and he gets Bruce, Jake... I think Kelly and Katura.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 2 tribes of 4 people of one tribe and then just 1 extra person.
Yeah.
It's only Bello that is actually a mixed unit. You get Drew and Austin, my dynamic duo. They're still together. So so they're a part of it. And then you have Kendra and Brando from Bello. They stay, and then they all get Emily from Lulu.
And she's happy about that.
Yeah, she's very happy. She even, again, we see a lot of her this episode, and she says, they don't know how I started out, where everyone was kind of against me and I was a big target and all that. So this is my chance to kind of use what I've learned and take Caleb's advice and just get to know people before we start talking game and stuff.
Yes.
So
yes, I think she's in a pretty good position, especially because she's 2 from one and 2 from another.
She's the swing.
Yeah, she sure is.
And so because of that, we do split off and we go to our 3 separate camps with our new tribes. Caleb takes his group back to Lulu.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce actually has a moment where he gets emotional because it is the same beach where he was on Tika in the previous season.
Yeah, he starts kind of breaking down a little bit.
He gets emotional because he even says, I know the spot where my head was hurting, and Jeff, me and we're talking like, I can't do this kind of thing.
Yeah,
so, and I can't blame him for feeling that way. It is emotional, the fact that he has this second chance now, which maybe not everyone would get. He was in a lot of pain back then and everything. So, but Caleb's happy with his new group of people, even if he's at the same camp.
Yes. Yeah.
And so we start to see some dynamics. There's, I didn't have a problem with it earlier, but we see Katura. She sits down and she continues to complain about Bruce.
Yeah.
And I love when they do this to kind of make fun of the person. She talks so long, they start time-lapsing the thing she says, because she just goes, I don't know how long she's sitting there just going, oh, and he blah, 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 and he does this, and he says that, and it's like, you want to just strangle him in the middle of his sleep? Like
she bothers me.
Yeah, I was fine with it originally because he did come off kind of bossy when he was trying to say, oh, I don't know anything about the game, don't see me as a target, and he was telling people what to do. And I could see her going, that doesn't make him, look so good. But now it's just like, she just wants him gone, like, for her own pride, it seems like. I don't know. It wasn't very pleasant.
Yeah, no, it's not. And I got a problem with that because it's like, come on, you're playing Survivor and all you're doing is, complaining about another Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Talk strategy. Talk something other than this. I'm sick of it. I really am.
I'm kind of over her at this point.
He's not that bad of a guy. We've seen worse.
He's not even that annoying or anything. I think he's just goofy, and I'm fine with that. So
I don't know what her problem is.
I don't know either.
Maybe she secretly likes him and knows he's married and can't have him. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, she's really got a problem, though.
She's really got a problem because I'm pretty sure he's got a husband, so...
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
I
think
don't know.
so. I think...
well, whatever.
Bruce is batting for the other team, yeah.
So...
tough crap for her.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, Caleb's a little nervous because he tries to get to know everybody and get in, but of course he's worried because he thinks he's on the outs. Well, at one point, Bruce is walking with Kelly, And in a weird thing, he tells her she's his number one all of a sudden, which she finds kind of odd because they didn't have much interaction before. But he tells her, well, she even said originally she would have gone with either the men or the women. Well, now she has her and just Katurah, or she has Jake and Bruce from her previous tribe. And so Bruce and Jake are very close. Bruce tells her he wants her with him. And then they go to Caleb. Bruce basically tries to get everybody and say, I don't trust Katurah, which is kind of working against her. She sees them doing this, and so she talks to Caleb too and tells him, oh, it's not all kumbaya, that's a bunch of bull, which it's the game. Of course, you're going to try and get along while also gunning for each other. But so Caleb realizes there's divisions and he has a good shot at getting them to turn on their own or kind of thing. So
there's an opening for him.
Even Jake says at one point, we see a little of him going, yeah, we all said Bello's strong. He's like, I'm worried about Jake strong. I'm going to do what I have to do kind of thing. And at this point, it kind of makes sense. Besides, Bello was never very unified. They were always trying to gun for each other, even though they never lost. So, so I'll try and speed us up here. But so that's one tribe. Then we go to Reba, where it is Sean trying to get an in with the 4 Reba members.
Right.
And at first, they all just, as soon as he walks away, they're like, so Reba's strong, right? That's what they originally agreed on, that they would just all stick together for the sake of hopefully getting Final 6 kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, well, Sean starts to bond with Jemaya,
right,
and she likes him, and she tells the other women we should get rid of Sifu if we have to, because, well, they have some concern because he went snooping for an idol early, even though he doesn't have anything, and because he's a challenge threat. Or and it doesn't take long of her negotiating that for Dee to kind of get on board with it. She's a bit in between. Julie flat out says that's stupid because look at us. We're all these like small women and this small guy, and then we got this big, strong Tai Chi guy. And so she has challenge concerns.
Yes. And I think she has alliance concerns.
She's specific. Even though she didn't form an entire alliance with Sifu and Jemaya, she'd rather stick with Reba. She doesn't like this kicking someone out to pull someone else in kind of thing.
I should have said tribal concerns.
Yeah.
She wants to stick with her tribe.
Yeah, tribe alliance kind of thing.
Which if one person isn't that, if they're just not that bad, then you should stick with your tribe. You got one new person and you got 4, you're 4 strong.
Yeah.
And you're contemplating your strongest member.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
This is before like any challenge or anything. They're already talking about this. And
so what if you look for an idol?
Yeah. And I get Sean is trying to find his place there, so he'll side with whatever, but Jemaya's kind of hurting her credibility with her tribe to a bit because she was so gung-ho about getting rid of Sifu instead.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because she feels like she's on the bottom of Reba anyway, and she might be. We haven't seen a lot of her until this point. Well, hopefully we'll see more of her, but so we have like that dynamic going on.
Yeah.
And then like Dee and Julie right now are more concerned about reuniting with the boys at some point down the line when they merge.
Yeah, Drew and Austin.
Yeah,
you mean,
which transitions us over to the new Bello tribe, all the blue people now.
I just want to say one thing about the Reba.
Yeah.
And that is about them going through Sean's bag.
That's right.
Yeah. I can't stand when they do that kind of thing. I just don't like that. I know they can, and they can't steal anything, but they can look.
Yeah.
And
I don't like it either.
Yeah, but what was interesting is he had his bag tied a certain way. That was a little interesting to me.
Yeah.
And how they had to remember how it was done so that he wouldn't know they went through it.
Yeah,
he didn't have anything.
Right. I believe they actually took one of their bags, because at first I saw a yellow bag and a red bag. I think they tied it the same way to remember what it looked like, untied his. His stuff was very well folded and everything, too. It wasn't all just slammed. They're like, wow, he's like really organized. And they're like, there's nothing in here. And so, they remembered how to retie it, which was clever on his part for tying it that way and clever on their part for making sure they didn't just like bow tie it, after the fact. So,
I just wanted to mention that.
So, yes, they were suspicious of Sean, and clarified supposedly he didn't have everything on him unless he kept it on his person. So.
Right.
And that was Dee's idea, I believe, to look in his
yeah,
bag,
I don't think Julie...
No.
She's not real cutthroat.
No, she just goes along with it for the sake of going along with it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, on Belo, the most diverse of the 3 tribes, because it actually has three tribes, in it.
Yeah.
Emily sits around and starts getting to know everyone. They're actually all really curious about Lulu and everything, especially because she's the only one out of the 5 of them that have been to tribal and everything. Drew and Austin basically tell her from the moment we saw you, I don't know how true this is, but they were interested in her. And the fact that she's still around and everything, even though she was a little aggressive early on, they want to work with her. I feel like that's a little over the top. They're basically telling her that because they realize, well, rather than the 4 of us going, she's on the outs, let's just get rid of her. It's better to pull her into a 3 so then they can deal with the other 2. Otherwise, you would be deadlocked then. So,
right. Yes. Yeah.
Because Austin and Drew, I'm sure they're, you can't see, but I'm crossing my fingers together. They're like that.
They're like peanut butter and jelly.
They're at least going to be like that till like final 5, where then they go, well, I got to turn on them or something. If they make it that far, but they're very tight. Kendra and Brando are pretty close, not to an extent. They're close because of their tribe anyway. She was closer with him than the other men on the tribe. So and then Emily's realizing that she is in a very good place because she can almost pick a side at some point and see what benefits her.
She's the swing vote.
Part of me wondered, because I always say it's not a good idea to tell people about what you have, but because Caleb gave Drew that goodwill advantage, I almost wondered if it'd be a good idea for him to tell her, your friend Caleb gave me this goodwill advantage, to earn her trust kind of thing, and her go, well, or if maybe tell her that if they find out her and Caleb have like a dynamic or something, because then she could trust them more. That was just a thought I had.
That is a good thought. Yeah.
And because they both tell her, like, we shoot straight, and they pretty much do. The one time they lied, they got caught, so they just came clean about it. And so, of course, telling the truth, it can bite you in the butt later on, but if you're already in a position where people know, it's like, use it to your advantage at that point. So
yeah, I mean, and I think they are in a pretty good spot. I mean, they have 3 advantages together.
Yeah,
correct?
they have an immunity idol. They have the goodwill advantage, which gives you your vote back if you lose it. And then they have safety without power, which would let one of them leave the tribal. So and not vote, but save them.
So they got some...
They got tools, and they even that's the thing. Even if Emily sides with the original Bellows against them, they could guarantee themselves another 3 days kind of thing.
Yes.
So
yeah.
They even said, they're young guys, so they come off a little cocky, but when you're in that position, you can't help but gloat a little, and they're like, we could take this tribe for ourselves kind of thing. So, but you can't help but smile because they're not being like jerkish about it. It's just like, all right, easy there, you don't know until the votes.
But they don't do it in a, I mean, yeah, they're a little cocky, but it doesn't like turn you off.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell they're just like into it, and they want to play.
And that's part of why I like them. They're there to play, and they're really trying to make these moves and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Even when things are and now that we have all these switched up tribes, hopefully that will lead to more like cutthroat stuff, where you gotta play. That's gets a little dull when just the same people keep going to tribal. So, but
yeah, for sure.
Happens.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to go to the immunity challenge?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty tough one, So they swim out to this huge cage, and they got to get in the cage. And then they have to release these 2 long poles, and then they have to use the poles to lift the cage, like, out of the water.
Yeah.
And then walk it to the beach.
Yes.
When I realized what they had to do, I was thinking to myself, holy crap.
I'm sure that cage is like a couple 100 pounds or something for 5 people, so...
Yeah. So they get it to the beach, and then they have to, like, dig under it?
Yeah, they have to get it to, like... It's like a couple of logs. They have to get it, like, just past these logs, dig under the logs so someone can squeeze out from under the cage, and then that person grabs a ball and throws it to them in the cage.
Right. And then somebody in the cage has to make 3 baskets.
Yeah. And you only have one ball at a time. You have to get each, like, one ball in each basket. So
right.
And then the 2 tribes that do it first win immunity. So
right.
I mean, the moving the cage thing, the Lulu tribe, the yellow tribe, they were moving pretty quick, where the other 2 were pretty dead even. But yeah, I mean, people looked worn out after picking that thing up. You know, you got people holding these poles in their hands. Some of them are like, they have it on their backs trying to like stand up with it. I think I saw 2 or 3 people doing the 1, 2, 3, go, 1, 2, 3, go, just to like inch it, you know, because they can't pick it up and walk. They're too weak to do it. So,
that was tough.
Mm-hmm.
But Lulu ended up winning.
Our man Caleb just sunk all 3 in like 5 attempts.
That was great. That was a happy moment for me. I really like him.
So they and the Lulu tribe itself has finally won an immunity challenge. And then Bello came in 2nd place.
Yes,
it got close, but it was getting rough. For
Austin
Reba.
threw for them.
Yes.
Yeah, and Sifu threw for Reba.
I think a couple of them tried, but Sifu was doing the most of it. He just kept missing, and Julie was having some trouble getting it back into the cage to them. So, to the point where she just started running up to it.
Because it was a very tall cage.
Yeah, I mean, some were like throwing it over into the cage. You could throw it through, but you only have small windows to get through. So yes, the Reba tribe goes to, or will have to go to tribal council.
Right.
Which, I mean, when they get back to camp, we see a lot of the same stuff of just of J-Maya and Sean saying, let's get rid of Sifu, and then Sifu and Julie saying, you know, let's get rid of Sean, kind of thing. And so eventually the women, you know, Julie's like, I think this is a dumb idea, but I will do whatever the consensus is. And so the women make the decision, and they tell Sean, we're voting Sifu, but we have to tell him it's you because it's going to make the most sense.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm on board, whatever it takes. And Sifu's kind of left out of the loop. So
yeah.
So we get to tribal, and within a couple of minutes, I am furious, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So
why is that?
Well, okay, you go first. What did you think of tribal?
I was blown away.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you want me to say it?
Yeah, you can say what happens.
So, out of the blue, Sean comes out and says that he pretty much wants to be voted out, right? Because he wants to be back with his husband.
Yep.
And it's like, at that point, you know, it's like, what's in the drinking water?
I know.
You know,
makes
you want to leave and not get voted out.
But almost like 3 quitters. I know only 2 people technically quit, but it feels like 3. I'm so over.
This is quitting.
Oh, this is. That's what I mean. I'm so over this crap. I that's why I got so mad. So you know, Jeff talks to them. The women are phrasing it that, well, yeah, Sean's trying, but he's on the outs. We're gonna get rid of him, kind of thing. And he's like, and he's saying, I'm super loyal. I'm gonna, you know, I'm with you. You know, whatever I'm the guy you can trust in the end if you keep me with you. That's what he says first. He's pleading his case.
Yeah.
And then Jeff goes, well, Sean, if it is you, what has the journey been like? Of course, he gets emotional. They all do at this point. Everybody's a freaking butterfly these days. And he goes, you know, and I'm not going to crap on, you know, his personal life. Like he's a gay man, and he grew up Mormon, and he grew up with like in a, I guess, a very straight household. So I'm sure how he feels is different from the, you know, like the world he lived in for some time. And he said it, you know, he didn't always value the time he had because he couldn't use it the way he wanted to and stuff. So I'm not going to go against his personal life. I don't understand his personal life.
Well, he could be straight and it could be a wife. I mean, you know.
But he's talking, well, that's what I mean. He's talking about these difficulties he's faced in his personal life, and it's helped him to realize the greatest journey he could go on is that with his husband. And I'm sitting here going, I'm glad you're happy with your life partner, and I'm sorry that your personal life wasn't always the easiest, but this is a game that you're here to play. You don't have a machete in your leg, so don't give up. It drives me crazy, these people, because ever since Winners at War, it seems like all Survivor casts are Survivor super fans. fans. That's what it seems like. Not that people before weren't fans of the game, but, the original concept was supposed to be people from everyday life learning to live together. Well, now everybody knows Survivor perfectly, and they all really, 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 really want to be there. So they claim. And then they show up, and either they can't do it, or they I don't know. I hate quitting. And we're at the point where, like, early on, when people first originally quit, Jeff gave them this most, like, disgusting treatment. Like, you are a pathetic human being for quitting the show.
Right.
Which I will say he would go too far for some of these people. It would depend, but, like, of course, some people really had it coming that quit. There wasn't even anything that wrong with them or whatever. But some where they were having like mental duress or something, or I know this one woman, she had like severe anxiety and she couldn't take medication while she was on the island and she was like breaking down.
And why did she join?
Exactly. But at least Jeff was like, okay, we get it, you can leave, kind of thing. But I'm just saying, like, there's a fine line where, you say, well, you go to hell for quitting this show because it is just a game show. But at the same time, we have come to the point we are now romanticizing quitting. I really think so, especially with Sean. We're playing this upbeat music where he's saying, you all really want to be there? So I want you all to vote me off. Are you effing kidding me? I'm sick of it. And Jeff's like, I understand. No, you're a quitting loser. I'm sorry. I don't want to come down on Sean. He seems like a great guy, but you're in it really, to me, it feels like you're in a position where you're on the outs. You feel like you can't get your way because you lose all the time. So instead of, biting the bullet and going and trying until you can't anymore, you go, I'm going to take this grandiose approach and go, vote me off. Let me sacrifice myself in my moment. That's what that feels like to me. Him going, I don't want to do this anymore, so I'm going to make this my moment, kind of thing. Vote me out. Let me self-sacrifice.
Well, I think you might have a point. I think a lot of them nowadays, with all this TikTok and social media and people trying to make it on that, I think that's what they're doing with Survivor too, is wanting to get their 15 minutes of fame and get something started in their in their lives.
Yeah.
I was on Survivor, and the thing is, I look at someone like him, and there's nothing wrong at home. Okay, you have a loving husband, great. They all have loving partners at home, and that there's nothing wrong. You're okay. You're physically okay. So this, to me, I don't know what is with Jeff. I'd rather come down on him come down on them hard, because I don't know what it's like now, the picking process for these contestants.
It's terrible.
Well, no, what I'm getting at is how many are told no, and for what reason. I think some are picked for not such good reasons. Not going to say what I think they are, but yeah, I agree. I don't like this quitting because you missed your husband, or then you had Hannah who was hungry and tired.
Oh my gosh!
On day 2, yeah. You didn't think you were going to starve?
Yeah. You have to be prepared to be miserable.
Yes.
And so it shouldn't come as a shock to you when you're miserable. You don't see these people with welts all over their legs because they're eaten alive by bugs, or the women are crying and shivering in the middle of the night because they're getting downpoured on. None of that has happened yet, and they're already complaining. Yeah, oh my gosh, that first girl, the first 2 people voted off the season are prime examples of people that should have never been put on the show.
Right.
Sean seemed like a guy who could have made it, but he just gave up.
Yeah.
And it's just so pathetic to me. I don't want to be mean, but it's just like, this is supposed to be, you want to go on this journey and maybe learn something about yourself and see if you can power through and do it. And hundreds of people have powered through and done it. Not that they all won, but they made it till they were voted out. Or even when they had a breakdown, they kept going, because you take your moment, you get over it, and you fight.
Yeah.
Too many people are, and I think a lot of this, like the social media and stuff, people are too quick to give up on things. It's too hard, and if I don't have to do it, I don't want to do it. And it's like, what would have been really nice if you won $1 million to bring home to your husband, you know, or said that you tried your best to do that instead of quitting, because it's quitting, and there's nothing good about quitting. So,
can you imagine those that were turned down for this season, watching him and her, and going, "Oh my God,
that could have been me."
Yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't give up.
I would have missed my loved ones. Yeah, I would have been hungry, but I want to play Survivor.
Yeah. There is only, let me think. I think there's only one quit I have ever respected because of how sudden it was. And it was, I'm not going to be able to remember his name. He's he's a really old player. I think his name was Terry or something. He was on Second Chance. I watched it not too long ago.
His son?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeff says, your son is sick and in the hospital, and he goes, I got to quit.
Yes.
Because he didn't go there with his son sick and then regret the decision or something. It just happened. Can't blame him at all. He's got to go home to his son.
Absolutely not.
And so I would never come down on something like that.
No. But I'm talking where you got nothing.
And that's what I mean. It's the only quit that I can say, well, that makes complete sense. Everyone else just, I can't do it anymore. You know, and it's like...
Well, how about Jenna? Wasn't her name Jenna?
Mm-hmm.
Her mother was sick, kind of dying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go play Survivor.
And then she said, I have to be with my mom. And thank goodness she did quit, because then her mom passed not too much longer later. Very sad, but why would you go do that when she's in such bad condition? Even if she told you, no, honey, go play Survivor. Like,
she already played.
Yeah.
So it's not like, it's a one-shot deal for her.
Yeah.
Like, you'll never be able to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's getting off track. But yeah, this quitting for ridiculous reasons, you have to think long and hard. Like, I love Survivor. I've been watching it ever since you were born. Okay. Do I think I could have done it like in my 20s and 30s? Well, maybe 20s. But now, hell no.
But you admit that too.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I know I couldn't do it.
I don't know if I could or not. Like the actual gameplay, even the challenges for the most part, and as long as I don't have to throw any balls, I think I could have a good shot, maybe get to the end and have people vote for me because they like me and I was smart enough to get my way there, kind of thing. For me, it would be the survival aspect, living away from family and technology in the middle of
technology.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I could do that survival part because I don't have the things that bring me comfort in life. No bed, barely any food. You have to boil water, and live in the outdoors, which isn't my thing. So I don't know if I'd ever willingly sign up to go do that because I know I would hate it, I would love playing the game. I would hate the living there because when you're not playing the game, you're just living on an island. So.
I think you have to get it in your head, that, like, when I first started watching it and that, I didn't even think about, well, I had a baby too. So I didn't even think about leaving my baby and husband and going and doing it. But in my mind, I'm always going, how fun and exciting would that be? Like I said, when I was younger, I think I could handle some of these challenges, sometimes when they've gotten bit by the bugs and all that, that would be very hard for me. I've had issues with bugs in my past. Food, I'd be starving, but I don't know if I don't think that would stop me. I don't know. I think you could do it, and you'd have to get it in your mind that, I know this is going to be hard, and I just have to know that these are the things I'm going to come across. And
I couldn't quit. If I did do it, I know I would never quit. No matter how bad it got, I would tell myself, you ain't leaving until you either get the $1 million or you're voted off.
Yeah.
Or they have to pull me, God forbid.
Oh, I couldn't leave. I'd feel too embarrassed to leave.
So would I.
Yeah.
That would be more painful than being hungry and tired and stuff. Would it suck to an extent? I'm sure at some point in the game, but I couldn't not play and I at least try. I'd rather try to make moves and get voted out because of it than go, it's not for me. I'm out. Like, no, you asked to be there. You said, I'm here to play and win. And then you just quit. You're a loser. I'm sorry. You're a loser. You're a quitter. You shouldn't even get your torch snuffed. If you ask me, you're just a quitter. So it just, at least the voting was a little interesting because he didn't quit. He said, vote me out. And Dee tells the women, vote Sifu out anyway.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of dumb.
Yes.
Because, and well, we'll see what happens, but because I just, I always see people poll like who you like and who you feeling might have a good shot at winning. A lot of people are saying Dee just because we're starting to see more of her. But the thing at Tribal made me start to doubt her capabilities because I get, okay, maybe they'd rather keep Sean, but if he's saying he's going to quit and he's saying, please get rid of me, his head's already out of the game.
Yes.
So rather than turn Sifu against you, just take out the easy target at that point. And so because she votes Sifu, Julie comes up and says, I was told to vote Sifu, but she still votes Sean.
Right.
Sean votes Dee, which I found kind of interesting. J. Maya, even though she was trying to save Sean, she voted for him for his sake, because she at least, respected his, decision. And Sifu voted Sean. Mm-hmm. So he goes home. He's happy about it. Hugs and kisses. Bye, loser.
Yeah.
And so, but then Sifu's like, who voted Sifu?
Yeah.
And he asks Sean, he's like, I didn't vote for you. So he knows one of the women voted for him.
Yeah.
And now he's pissed and isn't trusted, which was such a dumb move. Just vote out. Literally, I would always vote out the person saying, vote me off.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Because I would think the majority are going to do that anyway. Mm-hmm. So then you're throwing a vote out there and you're pissing somebody off. Mm-hmm. And then there's going to be problems at camp.
Yeah. Now he'll be against them and look for greener pastures. So.
Oh, I think he's going to ask every single one of them, did you vote for me? Did you vote for me?
Yeah. He's going to make it a thing, I think. So.
I think he is. I almost think I would kind of make it a thing to a point. When you got a guy sitting there saying, vote me out, I miss my husband. Mm-hmm. And then you got this big, strong guy who's part of your tribe.
And wants to be there.
Yeah.
And he gets a vote anyway.
Yeah. I'd be ticked.
And didn't think he would, kind of thing. Now he feels betrayed by somebody. Or it'll make him even think, oh, there was a plan and someone tried to stick to it or something. At the very least, go back to camp and say, so, which one of you was it? Or even that, or just, hey, someone here voted for me. I know you're not going to tell me who, but, good luck winning challenges without me kind of thing. Because, Julie made a point. Without him, they would have been really bad off. So, unless it was like a big puzzle. So, which tribe challenges are normally a bunch of things. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not coming down, women can be strong too. I've said this before. I mean, but you got a big, strong guy like Sifu, does Tai Chi, He's not too great at throwing baskets, but he's probably strong. Mm-hmm. He got him, helped get them to that beach. Because, Sean probably didn't help that much. He's
smaller, yeah.
He might have been like J. Maya. They're kind of like the same size.
Even Brando on the other tribe, it looked like he was barely even holding the pole up because he was short compared to everyone else. I think they kept moving him around and put him in a position where the four of them could do most of it. And I get it. He's a smaller guy and everything. He's not that strong. He's a smart guy.
They're trying and all that. I'm just saying that, at this stage of the game, and you just switched up and you want to get rid of the biggest and probably the strongest of that tribe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not smart.
So yeah, like I told you, tribal council is like my favorite part. The strategy, the trying to vote out the right person, maintain your alliance kind of thing. And 4 tribals, only one has been any fun. Yeah. Because you have 2 people going, get rid of me, or I'm just going to leave anyway because I don't want to do this. Cowards. And then the other one is just so obvious because the person was a liability to the tribe. Yeah. So you have 4 tribals and only one was really entertaining, if you ask me. So not that the tribe dynamics and the challenges aren't fun, because they are. It's just, the big exclamation point at the end of the Survivor episode when someone goes home and it's all super freaking predictable. So yeah, that's why I was grumpy. So hopefully that's it for people quitting and we can have some people with some more,
depth.
Depth and willpower, just play the game and win some money, kind of thing. So even if you make the jury, you get a pretty good paycheck out of it. So,
Yeah.
Of course you want to win it all and be the sole survivor and have that win, but the further you make it, the better you do. I would think you'd want to hang in there as long as you can, kind of thing. So
yeah.
I won't sit here and say, I could for sure win Survivor. I would certainly try my best, though. And just when I went out, I'd at least say, hey, I went as long as I could until they got rid of me, kind of thing. So even if I don't play my idol and I go home with it, then I get a souvenir, I guess. That's kind of dumb too, but you know my point. So
yeah, I don't like when people go home with them. It's like they're too cocky,
But anyways, I will ask you, like I always ask you, who's your top 3 that you either want to win or think will win?
Want to win, think will win. Okay, Caleb. He's probably my number 1 that I want to win. I gotta say Emily. I don't know if I've said her before. Like, I know first episode, didn't like her. I love her now. I'm gonna go with Austin.
Okay. I think that's what you've been going with. Yeah.
Have I?
So.
Yeah, no one's really,
Yeah, as of right now, my 3 haven't changed either. See, it's hard for me because I really like Caleb, but I have this bad feeling he's not making it because he's just going to be I feel like he's going to be a complete merge threat because he's got it all. He's very strategic. He's very pleasant to be around, and he's very skilled in challenges. Any team he's been on, he's been carrying, whether he needs to or not. So I just, maybe I'm going to switch it up a little. I want to say Caleb, but I feel like he doesn't have a very good shot at making it to the end. Because if he makes it to the end, I think he just wins. So.
But, okay, so you want him, though.
I want him, but I'm not going to put him in my 3 because I don't think he has any chance of getting there.
Okay.
So maybe that'll change. But for right now, I'm going to say Emily. I'll match you there because, we're watching her story and it just really feels like the show's going, keep an eye on this one anyway, And I do like her. She's growing from this experience. And this is like fun growth, not where they go, well, I'm being voted off second, but, I'll never forget this. This is someone who's like, fighting tooth and nail to be here.
Yeah.
So she's really won me over. This is gonna be my sleeper pick, but I'm gonna say Kelly. She's playing a very under the radar kind of game, but we are seeing what she's thinking and stuff. She's really trying to we haven't seen a lot of these people in this having to vote someone out position, so we don't know what they're gonna do when scramble time comes, but I just like her. She had a thing with Brando.
She's cute.
She's cute. That helps. But it's not just because I think she's cute.
I know.
She seems competent enough to know when to, make a move. So we'll see. Okay. And I'm going to keep my money on my man, Drew. I don't know, but I like the guy. So, and he's trying to make moves. He's trying to play the game as much as he can. So I hope it works out for him. So
okay, so we've got a variety here, except for Emily.
Yeah, she's our together pick. I feel like we're both gonna keep saying her so long as she's on the show.
Yeah, because I think she's just gonna, and like you had when the fact that you had said about like all the interviews, she's doing a lot of what do you call them?
Yeah, confessionals is what they're called.
Yeah.
Like even though they're not necessarily confessing things, that's just kind of like. That's a term people use for it when they sit one-on-one with the camera. So, normally a producer asks them questions. Well, not only do they probably ask her a lot of questions, but they're using a lot of her responses. So we're seeing a lot of her story in the game. She's not the only one, but she's a big one. So it makes me at least think she's going to be around for quite a while and be important to the game and making moves and stuff.
Right.
She's already been making pretty fun moves. So.
Yeah, I enjoy her.
All right, so I guess that's all for this episode.
Okay.
Thank you all so much for listening in. We're going to keep at it. Thank you, Mom, for talking with me all things Survivor.
Oh, you're welcome, honey.
And we will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.